I mean, if I had to flip a coin between Joni Mitchell and Miles Davies, that would be a tough call.
If you're a blues guitar expert or not, you're sure to be mesmerised by the magical music from Robben Ford. This 5-time Grammy nominee talks through his career highlights and dream duets.
I've been making solo records for many years now. I think my first solo album was in 1979. And there was kind of a long period between that record and the next for many reasons. But the first record was a fusion record, and it was actually the birth of a band called the Yellow Jackets, which has been to Montreux many, many times. In fact, my first time to Montreux was with the Yellow Jackets. And so over the years, from kind of my second solo album on, my music became much more blues and R&B. And I started focusing more and more on songwriting and as opposed to instrumental songwriting, lyrics, singing. And I would have to say that through that whole process, there's been a constant evolution. I'd like to think of it as evolution, excuse me. Every one of them's different. Every single record is different. I mean, Kiss, that was just a session, I recorded with them for a few days, so the relationship with Miles Davies and Joni Mitchell and a lot of other artists was far more, on the road, touring. And
you can take it or leave it, you don't need to be nice. You're living through hard times and it's starting to show.
So much deeper relationships, in those cases. And my favorite artist that I ever worked with is Joni Mitchell, indeed. I mean, if I had to flip a coin between Joni Mitchell and Miles Davies, that would be a tough call, like. I like to give myself about 3 months, and I used to be able to do that. It's harder now. Things kind of have to happen relatively quickly. But I'm in this space, this kind of phase where writing to me has become like really a part of my life. It's not like you have a record to do, write a bunch of songs, It's more just a part of my life. I'll be inspired to write, and I'll just write. I'll just write a song, So, in a way, that I can take more time, to work than otherwise. I don't know if I'm being very clear here, but.
Shout it up, you make me feel like romancing. Shout it up, make me feel like dancing. You got me moving like a brand new car. Shout it up.
So yeah, I much prefer having time. A Day in Nashville, that was a very unique album, Initially, it was meant to be a live recording of my previous record, which was called Bringing It Back Home. But the live recordings were so bad that we just decided to go into the studio 3 weeks later, we only had 3 weeks, and record it live in the studio. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be better if we had some new songs instead of just, redoing what we've already done? Who needs to hear that again, So I did. I just knuckled down and I wrote 6 songs in 3 weeks. I've never done that before. And they're good.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There is one guitar I have, it's a 1960 Telecaster, that has been sort of the most, it's been my best friend, you know, kind of through thick and thin. You can't hurt it. You could throw it across the room, you wouldn't hurt it. It sounds great. I think of it as really a blues and rhythm guitar. So it's not exactly what I would prefer to use for, there are certain things where other instruments come in more handy. The Les Paul, you know, is to me probably the most versatile guitar. But the Telecaster is the one you're referring to. Incredible instrument. Just get a book and learn chords. This is what I did when I was about 19, and it just changed everything for me. You know, I went from a guy playing blues licks who knew some very basic chords to someone with a lot of chord knowledge that I was able to apply to the blues that I was playing. That led to, well, what kind of a scale do you play over that chord? So I got another book and I learned the scales that are played over those chords and just started exercising it, you know? So it's very simple stuff, really. I don't know why people are so afraid of music, you know?